When you log into BeerRun, you can see the homepage navigation. Let us start with Classify and show you the fact that all of the items are imported from QuickBooks or your other accounting software. And this is where you classify whether the item is an ingredient, a beer style, finished goods, point of sale, or irrelevant. If it is an ingredient, you specify its TTB classification and unit of measure. If it is a beer, you can add the number of days it takes to ferment, give it an abbreviation, pick a color for the Gantt charts, and specify its yield. In finished goods, you specify the beer and the packaging. In the bill of materials, you are able to specify ingredients used per barrel of beer to be manufactured. This is your list of fermentation tanks with capacity, and this is your list of bright tanks. When it comes time to plan a batch, this page lists your entire universe of beers. You can see how much barrels are produced in production that have not been allocated to any sales orders, how many are planned but not allocated, and incoming orders, so you know how much the shortfall is. You can pick any beer to manufacture and start the process. Select which tank you'd like to brew the beer in, select partial barrels to brew, set the start date, and BeerRun will produce a batch order showing the tank and other manufacturing details. You can see that no customer has been assigned thus far. Note it's revision number 1. The batch split shows this is the only packaging we have. You can allocate any time incoming sales orders to a batch of beer. Here's the batch we just made. Since there are pending orders for California Ale, let's allocate incoming sales orders. This page shows all line items of all sales orders that have this beer. We can select which orders we'd like to fulfill since we have 445 barrels on order, but only 182 barrels available. As we select, you can see the calculator keeping track. When we click on Next, BeerRun updates the batch order to revision number 2, and all of the distributor order lines are assigned to this particular batch. You can see the split also has been revised, showing the various packaging units and number, as well as the barrel equivalent. You can now see we have only 1.67 barrels to spare. The Import Sales Order page shows you all sales orders entered in the distributor portal or QuickBooks, along with ship date, and you can decide which ones to process and add to the Allocate page. This page shows you all the line items of that sales order, classified with their own suborder number for tracking purposes. And when you click Save and Post, this becomes part of the Allocate page. You can assign bright tanks now, during fermentation, or after. Let's take our California batch and put it in tank 2. You can partially fill from one fermenter into multiple tanks, or stack multiple fermentation batches into a single tank. You can set the packing date in the future in case you'd like to have the beer condition for longer. The dates you set here drive your packing schedule. The bright tank will be occupied for the entire period. Let's set the dates. Now you can decide whether you would like to set the packaging schedule now or later. This shows you all the half barrels, kegs, cans, and cases from the batch split, and you can decide how many you'd like to fill on day 1, with the last day being the difference. This produces your packing schedule, which you can print out for your packing crew. Now, let's go see the batch status page. Let's look at our California batch, which shows nothing has happened so far. You can also see the fermentation Gantt chart, which shows you all the tanks and all the beers. We started the fermentation tank today, and here it is. Let's see the next month. The Gantt shows you which beer is going to occupy which tank from which date to which date. You can also see the bright Gantt to see when it will be occupied with which beer. We go to the next month and see our California batch. The sales order Gantt shows you a Gantt for every line of the sales order. This gives you detailed tracking of when that order is expected to be produced, so you can ensure that order is made on time and nothing holds timely dispatch of the order. This shows you various batches and the day they are going to be done. This shows you the distributor's order we assigned for the California batch today. This packing schedule shows your packing crew what they are supposed to do when they show up to work. They can see on a given day what they are supposed to pack. They can be assigned multiple batches. They can see what bright tank it is coming out of and how much they're supposed to pack in each size. This page shows you the inventory in your brew house. This is the inventory as per QuickBooks or your accounting system extracted during the last sync. And you can sort this by type. So you can say, I want to see all my finished goods, and you can see the most recent quantity. So you have no need to go into QuickBooks to find out the current picture. Let's start production. Pull the inventory. We have the same California batch we started. Inventory is available. If it's short, you get a red X telling you this particular ingredient is short, and therefore you cannot commence manufacture. Let's pull inventory for California, and we get confirmation. The batch moves to the Start Production page. Click on Start, enter the flow meter reading for the initial flow meter, and we see it moving to the finished production stage. BeerRun also posts the work in progress inventory assembly to QuickBooks or your accounting software. To pack the product, which appears here since it has been filtrated, click on Process and enter the actual quantity packed. Write the actual quantity packaged. You cannot pack the graze because you don't sell it, but you can pack it in any other packaging. QuickBooks is updated with the finished goods build assembly. Other videos will show you the TTB and distribute functions.